What is good, everybody? This is your girl Erica Williams from the Classic Con blog. We're on the road. I think it might be too much sun. Let me pull it a little bit. We'll see. We got big hair, don't care today, Texas, because we're going to the sauna. So again, the thumbnail is Vince McMahon. Why? Because there is so much to unpack on the whole Vince McMahon, the man, the mystery, the maniac, the crazy person. And again, when you start studying people that became uber successful, and I know we want everybody to be like a really soft little Graham Stephan puppy. It's like, hi, I'm Graham Stephan. Or these little soft doughy kids or something that you see on this internet. That's not the real world. A lot of Vince McMahons and P. Diddy's exist in our society. They are very driven. There's a book, and I wish I had it on top of my head. I don't, but it's talks about how 5% of women are in those categories. Vince McMahon's wife knew what she married. Just look at her in politics. Okay? Keep it a buck. Okay? Keep it a buck. So there are certain people in our society who are elite. They're the top 10%. They're very driven. They're very focused. They hammer life. And they stay consistent. Again, I don't know if this light is going to act right, but I'm going to probably close it a little bit maybe. Okay. So long and story short, let me get to it. I'm not going to keep you here all day. What is the title talking about? BP drama. What is BP? Bigger pockets. You guys know what time it is. Wells Fargo had a person drop dead at their desk, be there for 4 days. Nobody noticed till they didn't respond to emails. That's awful. And number 4, technically, this whole thing is creating momentum, maintaining momentum, advancing momentum. This is another wartime CEO series, but you guys, let's just kick it off. Let me go ahead and get into it. Okay, listen. I'm going to go to the BP drama first, and then I'll go to you on the backside of creating and maintaining momentum and why that's important. Now, before I go to BP drama, let's really get into it. Okay? Let's really get into it. I'm going to do BP. I'm going to stay focused. Bigger pockets, okay? Bigger pockets. What is the example of bigger pockets? Bigger pockets got bought out by private equity because their owners, like most owners, hey, I need some kind of bigger chunk payday. I don't want to just make residuals off this website for the rest of my life or however long it may grow, which can be 2 years, could be 10 years, could be 20 yeyears, right? Bigger pockets started out as a place to connect you to each other, like-minded people who are thinking about, starting in real estate in the capacity of either buying rentals, becoming financially independent. There's a million ways I can go on this. Out of the 1 million plus so people on Bigger Pockets, there is a solid 5% that really handle a lot of things well. And what I mean, they're really a realtor. They're really a big time flipper. They're really a wholesaler. They're really doing it. The rest of the group can be convinced to join you in private investing. They could be convinced to join you in equity plays. They could be convinced to join you in new construction. They could be quiet money or hard money, and you can do all the work. That's part of the whole point of the platform, right? Everybody has an active income component and a passive income component. What is active income when it comes to real estate? It's going to be wholesaling and flipping, right? Everything else is technically passive, right? And I'll explain more of that later into the show. And I'll go with stocks, and I'll talk about service businesses and all that stuff too, just to get you guys clear about what is active income. So, prime example, David Green said, while you're on there, they sold it to private equity. I'm just a show host. I'm not researching these people. I don't know who these people are. When they come on the show and they come talk to me, I'm just talking to them. I don't know who that person is, right? But when I get in front of a bullshitter, I know. Let's just go there. He said it. There are people that came on the show with 800 units, lost their house, lost all their stuff, living with their mom and dad. There's a guy with private planes, cheating on his spouse. What he could go really left with a lot of the commentary. But he didn't. He was nice about it. You're right, Jacob. Jacob is saying his new show already ranks higher than BP for sure. And he has to kind of pivot that attention right now, because let's be honest, for a minute, Bigger Pockets is anytime rates change, things fall out of excitement and favor, you lose people, right? But the biggest part of what he said is, many of you, me included, JT pocket watching. Hey, JT, when he sees this, him pointing out the tide is coming out, right? What is the tide coming out? Anytime rates change, anytime we're going to recession, depression, you're going to have people having unfortunate incidents. Let's say it that way, right? We just saw the guy in Manhattan that unfortunately took his own life because he had $134 million in debt he was going to have to try to default on, and he didn't want to do it, right? There are going to be countless stories like that for the next 2 to 3 years. You can go on the realdeal.com and every day you will see some guy who stole money, some guy who defrauded investors. They got a woman right now in Florida who took $40 million from investors and riding on yachts in Florida and doing all kind of goofy stuff. Why am I bringing this up to you? Why does this matter? Because Bigger Pockets became this place where we could say, this person's a safe investment. This person checks the box because they did an interview. And on the African American side, you had a lot. Earn Your Leisure for a while was doing that, right? Oh, that person did an interview with them. They should be good, right? This person's been seen on 20, 30 podcasts. They should be good. They shouldn't be a problem, right? And what he basically said in a nice way, Dave Green was like, dude, people were coming on the show so they could keep raising money, but they were in a ditch. They were in a hole. They were doing bad. They were down bad. This cold brew was mixing. I needed to drink it. Hold on. Oh no, it's losing the cold brew power. Okay. Why is this important? Why does this matter? Because you're watching people to feel comfortable, to feel secure, to feel like maybe I could invest with them. Maybe I could work with them. Maybe I could do business with them. Okay. Maybe I could do that, right? That's what they're thinking. That's what they're amazing. So David Green made it very clear. And I like David Green. I'll give him his props, but I will also have to say very clearly in this interview, this is the man, okay, who was a cop and worked his way up. Now, people are saying in the comments, and this is a Ryan Pieta video, you guys have seen me share it on the community wall, he was over his skis. No matter what he will say in any interviews, he was over his skis. The key to anything as you grow in business is you put smart, referred people in your space. Now, what does that mean, smart, referred people in your space? I keep telling y'all don't like Ben Mala for whatever reason. Y'all hating on Ben Mala. Ben Mala has been doing this so long that anybody that thinks they're going to do big business or they're going to do 1031 exchange should be on the phone with Ben Mala and asking him, who does he work with? Who does he recommend? Right? And a lot of people are getting over their skis and it's just being exposed. So all David Green basically said is, I was over here trying to do a 1031 exchange. I tried to get 40 properties. The city said no on short-term rentals. We're calling every day. They don't care. Interest rates are going up. I'm losing 400,000 here, $500,000 there, another 400,000 there. The first 24 minutes in that show, I literally said, if I was David Green, I'd be drinking right now. I'd be somewhere drunk, upset with life. You cannot repeatedly lose $500,000 and just say, hey, we have all this money coming in. Come on, come with it. I'm telling you, right? We have $500,000 of all this money coming in. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. It don't matter. And this is where the trap of active income makes a lot of people lose their mind, right? Active income is what you need, right? When I tell y'all, like, stock market, call Diamond Dave. You want active income? Some people may say, I want weekly income, monthly income, whatever, right? I want to get in options. You need to learn what the difference is between just buying some dividends and sitting on them and actual active income, right? Okay. The problem with this is David Green is literally telling you, I was doing too much. He had a mortgage company. Guy ran off. The guy ran off on the mortgage company. Took his clients, took big money, ran off on the mortgage company. Mortgage companies past 5 years have been living La Vida Loca, refinancing mortgages. Some more refinances, the interest rates go up. Craziness, right? Another one. He had a realtor office. mortgage property management and a realtor office. You guys know how they shape this up. So of course people are like, oh, David Green, bigger pockets, let me go on over here. So agents were working underneath him because of what? It was the David Green bigger pockets train. Girl in there stealing money, right? Then another section. So he's got these big multimillionaire companies, and when times are good and stuff is rolling, oh, so what? We lost $500,000 here. Oh, we paid another $500,000 fine. No, that's, you cannot have massive $500,000, $1 million bleeding moments and say, well, you know, we're going to keep rolling because we're making active income on the wholesale and flipping side of business. That's crazy. That's crazy. So so when this is happening to him, and another big part, I have to go there, this just has to be said for y'all to be thinking I'm not a hater. He literally had 40 properties in one LLC. And someone was able to go in Florida, inside Florida's database, which they're working on fixing it in Florida, change the title of the name. Some little unauthorized notarizer notarized the document and said this guy is the real title holder, and stole his 40 properties and started selling them to wholesalers. But that only happens when you're not paying attention. He already told you at Bigger Pockets he won't do enough but showing up and being a host. So your daily life is these businesses that you have got these leads because they see your face on Bigger Pockets. Your life is that business. What is the business doing? Who's in charge of that department? What's going on? So you telling me some little Jerome in Florida with his friend that's a notary moved all 40 of your properties in one LLC over to his name and started selling them and wholesaling them, and you didn't catch it till months later? You didn't catch your properties being sold till months later? Do you understand how you're doing too much if you could not say, wait a minute, how's all, again, somebody gonna say, Erica, you're a hater because he's working with millions of dollars, stuff happens. No, y'all, go watch this interview. Don't, you're a hater, Erica. No, I'm telling you, I have been a person who was doing too much. I know when I see another person who was doing too much. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he got real ops. Yeah, the guy got arrested, and the guy who helped notarize it also got arrested or whatever. So, but it took almost 2 years for that to even course correct, for him to grab the properties back. The tenants ain't paying. Half the properties turned to trap houses. They're in South Florida. So you do the math. You know what's going on in South Florida, parts of South Florida. It's wild down there. So this is the person who you're watching to give you real estate advice. So here's my 2 cents on it. I'm glad he went through this. It is a case of doing too much. Everybody says, no, he knows so much. If I read books every day, and y'all, I'm a avid book reader. Like one time my mom was like, damn, are you really reading these? You still have to have life hit you in the face a couple times. You still have to have real life experience. You can't just tell people, well, I read this and I know this. That's why he knew when people would come on the show, because he's been in battle the last 2 years. When people were saying, oh, I don't have any problems with my rentals in Detroit or in Michigan or in Cleveland, or he was like, you're full of shit, dude, because I'm having problems, or I'm in Florida and I'm not having any problems. He's like, you're full of shit, dude, because I'm in Florida and I'm having problems. And this is the stuff y'all won't learn. This is the stuff where somebody's trying to sell you, hey, just get 10 rentals and you can retire. That's BS. I know too many people with 10 rentals, and every month is like, it's like a whack-a-mole. Like, okay, are people going to pay? What's going on? I know a guy with 10 Section 8 rentals, and it's still whack-a-mole because sometimes they complain or something's going on, or they done tore something up in the house. And again, there's levels to this, y'all. There's levels to this. I'm going to just be nice about it. But I already know somebody's going to say I was hating, right? Exactly. Listen, come on. Somebody said, wasn't he the remote investment expert? Exactly. So you're listening to somebody who whole life has just got a yank pull from. Now, then he starts going on toward the end of the interview. And again, I will stand on this hill and die on this hill. If you're a man with money, you can go out and pick a broad tomorrow and marry her. There's a guy that I made a video and I didn't release it because there's a guy, I like him. I like his teachings. I like all the stuff he does. He literally is a former cop. He saw a black, beautiful girl on TikTok that didn't have any naked photos. She was dressed very classy, very minimum makeup. And he went and he got dating her, and then they got married 3 months later. If you got money and you're scrolling Instagram and you find something you like and the girl's not doing too much, you will pick her and say, come on, I see you ain't out here with no bikini pictures on. I see you out here looking like you got some class and some sense to yourself. And he's not a black man. He's a Latino man from California. It was like, okay, black girl, come on over here. They married. I like his stuff. I like his channel. No disrespect. So when David Green took the end of the interview to kind of be like, well, modern day women and modern day men, and he was literally having a red pill moment of crying. This boy about to be 50 years old. This man about to be 50 years old crying about he lives in the Bay of California, y'all. The Bay. Let's really have a moment here. Diamond Dave is in stock market. Diamond Dave tells y'all all the time, y'all don't know what money is. If you actually meet people who are from the Bay, I'm talking about not Oakland, San Francisco, the startup culture, the Tesla culture, I'm talking about working at Google making $250K a year, and everybody making $250K, and y'all not having normal conversations with people. The janitors at Google making $120K a year. You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous stuff. You know what big money is. So for him to be like, I got all this money, I'm about to be a 50 ball. I'm bald headed, whatever. Cool. Not a bodybuilder. And women should be more what? They should be more what, David Green? They should be bowing at their toes and kissing them. No, that's crazy. So he revealed in the interview he was dating an alcoholic single mother for 5 years off and on. And guess what? She even said, "Nah, I'm good," and picked somebody else and started dating them. So in my eyes, I'm like, damn, you really going through. You losing money left and right. You're getting put out. Your single mom you're dating is bounced on you, and you about to be a 50 ball. And so Ryan Pieta, which I love Ryan Pieta because he's that clear-cut baseball player. If you haven't known baseball players, I'm talking about even just baseball as teenagers, they're serious on like, you just need to work out more and be elite. That's literally what he says. Like, and I laugh so hard because that is literally every baseball player parent, softball player mom, softball coach mom. They're like, work out, eat better, be elite. That's their only conversation. And so when Ryan Pieta went, you just need to be elite. Stop whining. Be elite. Well, what about the guys that can't be elite? I'm worried about the mediocre guy. Mediocre guys used to be able to get mediocre women, and now they can't. If men can only afford a $500,000 house and women are selling the houses for $2 million, no one's gonna buy a house. Honey, when I go outside in this world, I see ugly men and women together all day and all night. I don't know what y'all talking about. I see fat men and women together all day and all night. I see fat women in military towns with a military man that's in shape. I see all kind of stuff. A lot of y'all are like make it too deep into this internet. You need to get out of the internet and go outside and touch grass. And I know people hate hearing that, but when you think, hey, I'm this elite man that's losing money at every single level in my business, and I just got fired off a TV show, because that's what Bigger Pockets is. It's just a TV show. I'm just a TV show host. And that's really the gravy train to get my leads. You're elite, but you in the internet world, some girl who's used to sitting on boats and is very pretty, trying to be careful how I say this. She's used to sitting on boats and interacting with startup company dudes who just made their first 10 million this year online, or 5 million this year. Like, okay, you do real estate. Okay. All right. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all are really, and I say this for everybody, overvaluing themselves. They're not being realistic. I mean, I'm not going to call him a pookie, but he used to be a police officer. That's why I be like, people, come on now. Knock it off. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Okay? Be for real. All right? Yes. Be for real. Be for real. So I love Ryan Pieta because he's just true to himself, and he's like, dude, just short sell the properties. Get off of it. Let it go. It's been 2 years. You're in this muck and mire. Let it go. Cut it. Let's go. All right? That's it. Let it go. And if you want somebody, go pick somebody, but like, let's stop complaining. Everybody who has to go out here and work in life has some type of trauma, aka life be lifing. You know what I'm saying? I told my mama this and now she uses it every day. I'm like, oh Lord, I shouldn't have told her that. But life be lifing. Stuff is going to happen to you. You're going to be you're gonna bump into people, and you can either choose to, hey, I'm gonna put some work into this, or I'm not. Nobody wants to hear that, right? And again, this all comes out, and this is a video we can review. I know I've been gone, and you guys are like, where you been, right? Cam Newton and that whole doctor thing, that is a massive distraction, just like the election. At the end of the day, we call a duck a duck. We know it. You're making broken homes. You're plopping babies everywhere. You tell me you get a house for the girl, the kids are there, but if she's a dummy, she's a bird brain. What future do those kids have? Those kids have just as much future as the poor kid down the street who mom's a teenage mom. They just got money. That's it. That's the only difference. Them kids are not in the house with you every day, living underneath you, underneath your guidance. It's a different conversation. And nobody wants to really call a duck a duck. Well, he rich, Erica. Y'all don't understand because y'all don't got $10 million. Baby, I go to literally Texas Housing Authority and Texas Booster events where the men in there are rich. Ain't little rich, big rich, oil money rich, land rich, owning thousands of units of apartments. And they don't act like this. They act like boring dads who golf. They wife look boring. They look boring. They have fun though. They be on boats and planes and doing their life. But y'all really be thinking, oh, if I make $10 million, I can act like an asshole, dress like a clown, and impregnate multiple ladies. And as long as I give them a house, they should be grateful. That's crazy, y'all. That's insane. So that's my that's my assessment of the Ryan Pieta, David Green for Bigger Pockets conversation. Bigger Pockets is private equity now. They're making money off the dream of you investing in real estate. And so now that he's on the outs of that, he has to get some controversy. He has to get some traction. He has to build up his own podcast. And he even told you he never cared about thumbnails. He never cared about who he was interviewing. He didn't care about none of that stuff. Why? Because he was just a host. He just showed up and host. Right? That's it. That's it. Right? So let's I'm gonna let that roll. But if you ever want to just laugh, if somebody, and this is an ideal, somebody ever want to make real estate money where they're like real estate exposed, you could literally go on Bigger Pockets. I mean, not Bigger Pockets. You can go on The Real Deal every day for the next 2 years and make a video on how, like, just number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people going bust, exposed, scandal. Like, I'm telling you a whole channel here. Somebody really wants to pick this up today, you're welcome. I just gave it to you. You can literally go on The Real Deal, pay for the membership, every day do a video surrounding the scandals that are all over the United States right now. For the next 2 years, you would have a channel at 300,000. You would be American Greed online. You would make a ton of money. Google AdSense and more. You just would. Why? How do I know that? Because revenue culture, revenue. I'm saying it wrong on purpose. Coach consulting. You know who the guy I'm talking about with the shaved head that's always complaining about real estate crashing for 3 years, and yet he's trying to sell you something for $40 a month. That guy, you would be bigger than that guy and you make more money than that guy. So that's, if you want to do that, if you want to be seen as that person who does the internet scandal, or if you got a man with a great voice, you could really, really benefit from that. That's all. So I'm gonna put a little period there. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any comments about that and my thoughts on Bigger Pockets in general, because, you know, Lisa Phillips many years ago came on there and they dogged her like a dog, talking about buying homes for $30,000 to $50,000. And then 2 to 3 years later, you know, some white dude comes out talking about buying $30,000 to $50,000 homes in Detroit, Michigan, and Cleveland. And he's a miracle maker. He's a master planner. He's amazing. Pay attention. Like, even Bigger Pockets would be on its own. Okay. You already know. 34 million in personal assets. And instead of going, let me default, let me rebuild, he jumped off. He took his life and left his wife and kids with shambles. Now there's gonna be an insurance policy that takes care of them. But best believe some court somewhere is gonna be like, you need to give me some of that insurance policy. It is what it is. But you could go on The Real Deal every day for the next 2 years and report and have crazy sounding music of the real estate scandals, and you would make a lot of money off social media. You'd make a lot of money off AdSense. You'd make a lot of money. I done spilled some stuff in this car. Oh, Lord. I apologize, y'all. My bad. My bad. Whoops. Okay, let me go ahead and go to the next. Wells Fargo employee at a desk, 4 days, fell on over. Only reason somebody checked on them is because they hadn't been responding to emails. I want y'all to understand these companies don't care about y'all. These companies don't care about y'all. These managers don't care about y'all. You almost have to be in sales or a person who is making a lot of money. I'm making a big old mess in this car. It's a mess. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Made a whole mess in the car. Cold brew too good. Hold on. I knew better to put it down. I knew better. What up, though? Yeah, Lisa Phillips was the GOAT. Still the GOAT. And you really only need, and I think I did a video on this, I'm not certain, but you only need that little pop. You only need that one time little pop. And what do I mean one time little pop? Like Cam Newton, all these people, you hit that one viral episode, and then people just kind of hold on to that 10-20% of the audience that came on with the viral. They're good. So that's that on that. But the Wells Fargo employee, if you're not sales at a company, let's just go there. If you're not sales at a company where you're actually making the company money, and they're like, oh, where he at? Where is she at? Where is this person at? They don't, you're a number, right? If you're a person who's just administrative and you don't respond, they're like, well, dang, where they at? Right? But did they quit? Are they fired? You got to look at some of these videos these people are putting on TikTok when they go to these offices and it's just a floor full of cubicles everywhere. And it's just a sea of cubicles. Nobody looks, right? Also, this is the problem when people lose their job. They hop on Indeed. They hopped on LinkedIn. They tell their friends, oh my God, I lost my job. Oh my God, do y'all have any referrals? Well, baby, you just popping up here 6 months, once out a year, 2 years later saying, hey, what's up, is ridiculous. You haven't cultivated any networks, right? You haven't cultivated any environment to be even ask a favor. This is what drives me crazy. People be like, oh, Erica, can you sit down and tell me this? I'm like, you haven't cultivated anything with me for me to sit down and spend 30 minutes for free giving you information. I literally had somebody call me and say, oh, well, tell me all this stuff about this and this business. They had a great business idea, but I quit doing that. I tell y'all when I was at the Digital Liberty Tour, don't put on the coach's hat unless they've paid you to be a coach, because you're really just pissing in the wind. You're really just giving good information for no reason, because they're not going to take it serious because they haven't paid you. All right. But this is an example of they came to work, the office stunk, and instead of saying, that's weird, it's a smell in here, is the plumbing messed up? There's no manager walking around looking, right? Assessing, interacting. This is why when people tell me they want a white collar job, what they really want to do is go to a big company, sit in a cubicle and chill and just do some BS work. It's not an emergency. Nobody's going to come looking for them. Nobody's going to be pressing them about their work. And that's what they're telling you they want. Right? Nobody wants to work at a startup, because why? Every single person is hands on deck, and startup culture requires you to be there. This is why the former Google CEO got in trouble for saying this. He's like, I don't care, y'all want to work from home. You're not going to be number one working from home. That's why Google is sliding. Or he said that's why Apple was sliding, or somebody was sliding out of their position because of that. Let's just keep, I'm trying to be nice, but I want y'all to understand, security didn't check on her. Look, come on, look, you already know where I'm going with this. You're telling me the cleaning crew that comes and clicks up the trash bags out of each office, nobody checked that office for trash? No, the trash people ain't walking around vacuuming the floor. The cleaning crew didn't walk around vacuuming the floor. The nobody at that office was checking the floors. So first of all, I'm coming in as higher than them. I'm getting rid of the cleaning company because I'm gonna be like, y'all should have found this person. And I'm hoping, I'm praying, unfortunately, this sounds terrible. I'm hoping this person came in on a Friday and then they discovered them on a Monday. This is what I'm hoping. I know this sounds terrible because this is Tempe, Arizona. Because it ain't Tempe, Arizona ain't exactly 70 degrees right now. You know what I'm saying? Even in the office. So I'm hoping this person came in on a Friday and they found them on a Monday, God willing. But that's even sadder because that means there's nobody on Saturday and Sunday to even know they was there. Who is the security on Saturday and Sunday? Who is the cleaning company on Saturday and Sunday that comes and clean offices? Nobody. Nobody noticed this. Nobody said, well, damn, it stink. Maybe I should spray some spray. Maybe I should go investigate the smell. Again, this is why people want to work for big companies because they just want to kind of float through and no one really has the task of saying, hey, whose job is it to do this? Whose job is it to do that? Whose job is it to do C? Bigger companies will let y'all float like that. A smaller startup office with maybe 20 employees, if Deborah falls over at the desk with 20 employees, oh my God, Deborah has fallen over. Okay. Right. And the definition of small business, I really want to keep honing this in. A lot of y'all don't even qualify for the definition of small business. Y'all qualify for self-employed. What is the definition of small business according to the government? Somebody with 100 employees to 1,500 employees. Someone making 1 million a year to 40 million a year. Have I met people who are 10-person companies with making 20 million a year? Yes, I have met them, but they're stressed the hell out. Have I met people who have some of these e-com businesses and some of these supplement businesses who make 30 mil a year and they got maybe 10, 20 employees? Yes, it's possible. Just as business is changing and niche and nibble, you got to be nimble to play around. But when you start getting to certain levels, you're going to need a social media manager. You're going to need an operations manager. You're going to need a logistics manager, depending on what your company is. Even if we flip over to service, in service businesses, the salespeople, you love them to death, but you have to also love your technicians and you have to facilitate what's best for the technicians. So sometimes you'll have a sales manager and a technician manager. And then on top of that, an accounting department, right? So when you start talking about business and people saying I'm a small business, I start asking, who's your HR person? Who's your tax person? Who's your this person? They don't have any of that. Sir, you're just self-employed. Right? And if you really look at self-employment at its rawest, you're basically an employee. Until you can start making enough money to hire people for those slots, you're an employee. So let me read this real quick. The art of building professional relationships has been lost. I've been on an active group chat with 13 of my ex-coworkers from 12 years ago. It's crazy people don't talk to each other more. Bingo. A lot of time people just want to fly under the radar and not, oh, I'm so stressed. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is my only issue with most parents. Y'all just saw the news report from the teacher saying a bunch of 5 and 6-year-olds came to the office and they were came to school and they were not potty trained. And they said, okay, well, this teacher should be shamed. Maybe these people have developmental issues. And come to find out, she said, not none of them. They're all normal, healthy, regular 5, 6-year-olds, all been tested. Ain't nothing wrong with them. Their parents are just lazy. They're just kind of managing them, but not actively teaching them anything. Because by 5 years old, you know where the damn bathroom is. You should know how to spell your name. Again, they said that too. These kids are coming, don't know how to spell their name. They don't know letters. They don't know nothing. Now, people are going to blame the pandemic. No, I'm telling you, it's the parents. But these same parents will be at a job, and every time there's something going on, I need to go get my little Jimmy from school. My kids are sick. I got to go. I got to do something. And, the kids are my life. I got to go do it because this job don't matter, but these kids matter. These are the same people who are going to look you in the eye and say they don't have time to do bare bone basic job maintenance, personal relationship maintenance. I remember one of my friends telling me when him and his friends had kids, it's like they went away to their house for 8 years. And then when their son had a birthday at 9 years old, they asked everybody, could they come? And they were like, man, we ain't heard from you in years. And here you are talking about coming to my son's 9-year-old birthday party so there could be other kids for them to play with. This is why people make fun of the women having play dates. But they almost have to have play dates because so many people have relinquished the responsibility of crafting and growing adult relationships and relationships in the neighborhood you live in. So they have to put play dates together. So it's usually parents. I'm just going to go there. It's usually people with kids who are like, oh, these jobs, and I can't find another job, and no one will help me get a job, and no one will help refer me. And it's like, have you invested anything in this? As your, like, again, this is where I know people hate this for me, but this is where men have it easier. If you're a man, no one's expecting you on the childcare side. No one's expecting you to go pick up little Jimmy from school. No one's expecting you to do a lot of things. As a man, you pretty much can leapfrog in networking, business, golf, and a lot of stuff if you want to. But again, you have to want to. Okay. Listen, you already know that position's up on the job board. It's already up. Yeah, it was okay. Thank you. It was Friday to Tuesday. Because I'm like, come on, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. We're headed to an East Asian work environment. I've heard plenty of stories like this. I was living over there. Oh, for sure. For sure. But this is a bigger issue. They don't have friends that's like, hey, we ain't heard from this person all day. Past 4 days. Like everybody should have, and again, there's a really wealthy guy. I think Anthony Ant Dog in here. If he's in here, he sent me this great video where the guy was saying you should have 20 people, just 20 that are like close enough. You know them, you know their parents. They're your community, right? You see them on church on Sunday. You go eat, you cook out with those people. You do some football games with those people, and then you're 20, right? Past that, you ain't gonna know people deeply. You're like, your husband and wife could know a group of 20 people. Then there's another 50 to 70 people that are just associates. They're just in the network. They're just in the city. They're just in the range of knowing people. You follow them maybe once a year, or once a quarter, every couple of months. And then there's another group of people even past further that. And so adults are failing at the first 20, right? They're not even getting invested with the first 20. So for somebody to be at work from Friday to Tuesday and nobody in their family heard from them, they mama, they daddy, they cousins, they other people haven't heard from them, that's crazy. I told y'all I just had a family emergency here, and I was like, immediately all hands went on deck. Like, okay, well, where's this kid going? Where's the kid with the wheelchair going? Where's this other kid that's got issues going? Where's this person going? Okay, are we gonna find a house that can put a ramp on it? Okay, they got Metaflight to Duke. Okay, that's gonna cost our family $50,000 with this Metaflight. We already know this is a medical flight. They're gonna charge us out the ass. Okay, so what's the plan for repayment? What's the plan for this person's physical therapy future? Where is this person going to go? And this is from a family I didn't even get to talk to this past week. And everybody went up activation mode. Activate. Everybody activate. Children, people, housing, let's go. Activate. And so when people sit here and tell me nobody looked for this person. Lucky enough for this family member we had, they fell out at work. Thank God they were at work. And people were able to go, whoa, what the? Get her to the hospital 911. Because if not, she'd have been gone. If she had went to home during lunch, she'd be gone. Point blank, period. She would not be metal flacked and be in a whole nother city away from the whole family right now. Okay? She's over an hour and 30 minutes away from the whole family in a medical facility. And again, what people don't understand is you're going to work at environments. Are you critical for work? I'm not trying to be funny. That family we have is a salesperson. So everybody was like, hey, all hands on deck. The salesperson went down. What's their sales? What's in the pipeline? What do we need to get done? Hey, what does your family need? Hey, can we send some money? Can we send some cards? Can we send some flowers? You're like, whoa, thanks. We appreciate that. But are you critical for where you work? And a lot of people don't want to be critical. They just want to show up, slide under the radar, type on their desk, leave, and say, oh, my kids are sick. I got to go. I got things to do. You're not invested anywhere in your private life, your public life, anywhere. So what are you expecting people to respond and do for you? That's all I can think is somebody's at Wells Fargo spraying spray talking about, I didn't know. Yeah, multiple days of smelling that. No family, no janitors, no security. Nobody's checking that floor. That's crazy. Got to work on Friday at 7 a.m. Think about it. The cleaning people splashed some Fabuloso and got the hell on. Think about that. The cleaning crew should have been like, hey, let me report. There's a smell. Something's wrong. Again, everybody failed on multiple levels. I work for DLLA out here in Nova. We had multiple people, retired military, 100% VA, GS-15. Ooh, literally died their cubicle. Yeah, it's the worst. It's a shameful. No social life. I'm telling you. Thank you, Ant Dog. For real. That's crazy. It is. It's sad all the way. Listen, Anthony, Brian, Logan, come on. Come on, 50 big baller dollars. What's good? Okay. But yeah, I just want y'all to understand, like, between the bigger pockets thing, if you missed it, go rewind this after this is done. I'm gonna probably take that clip out and just make it its own clip. Um, this it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But again, one of the things from earlier that I was gonna bring to now is Ryan Pieta talking about active income. And he basically was like, hey, I'm taking hits. You took all the hits. I mean, you getting hit in your personal life, your financial life, everything. I'm taking hits financially. We're all taking hits. It's a bad time. We're down bad. But what's one thing that sales, y'all? I know y'all hate when I say it. Sales skills are life skills. Active income helps all. You could literally be down bad right now. And if you get some sales under your belt, you are good. You are good. Why do I say that? Why do I mean that? Don Lemon, and I'm going to use these people as examples of active income and creating and maintaining and advancing momentum. That's what I'm going to use them for. Don Lemon out here doing street interviews. This is something you do when you're a 20-year-old news reporter. Hey, how do you feel? Tell me your thoughts. And everybody's like, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. And it was funny because Don Lemon was like, oh my God, what's happening? But Don Lemon is in a position where he has to create momentum. Why is he having to create momentum? Because he has to start all over. He lost his job. And when you create momentum, you're in the startup phase. And why is he doing this? Because if he does it right, he will have income for the rest of his life. He'll always have an opportunity to come back on big news TV and get the powder on the face and get to sit in front of the big cameras and talk. Right? Chris Cuomo is on Bet David's podcast. This dude used to be on CNN nonstop through the whole pandemic, all day and all night. Right? I mean, who works that hard? Stephen A. Smith is the only person I knew worked harder than Chris Cuomo at the time. Right? Chris Cuomo brother is over New York. Right? And they're just all day TV news, getting like nonstop momentum. Now, Don Lemon's been fired. Chris Cuomo's been fired. These people have to go create momentum. Megyn Kelly, they did a whole movie on her and all the other stuff. She was fired. Now she has a email list. I'm on it. Right? She has podcast snippets. That's what she does. She's good at the digital stuff. She has a crew around her working. Why do they have to do this? Because you have to create momentum. You have to create active income. People signing up to their email list and watching them, what you think for free, they're getting revenue from different spots, right? Sponsors are going to put money, active income in their pockets, put money in their pockets. And that's why when people sit here and say, well, these people are doing social media, it makes no sense. It does. They're selling the attention. They're trading their name and attention for the money. Okay. Hope y'all get that. Okay. Now, what are examples of people who created, maintained, and advanced momentum? I'm going to give you number one example, I think right now is the Khalees brothers. I'm saying it wrong. Khalees, the one that's dating Taylor Swift and the other one that just retired. They got $100 million from Amazon to do podcasts. They are going to shill. And when I mean shill, I mean sell everything known to man, right? The one brother was already out of favor because he's shilling for Pfizer, right? But now they're going to shill for a lot of stuff. At $100 million, when I tell you whatever I want you to put on your show and you talk about, you're going to talk about it. And I'm going to give y'all a little secret. A lot of y'all don't understand this. When you see all these content creators saying, I'm moving to New York, I'm going to New York. These are management companies. who are paying these girls from Idaho and Tennessee and Nashville and these little small nowhere places to go to New York and pretend to look for an apartment for 3 months and do content on New York because it goes crazy numbers. To this day, whether YouTube will ever address it, New York and LA, if you have content talking about I'm moving to Texas, I'm moving to New York, I'm moving to LA, it will make crazy numbers. They don't even like Texas, but the Texas numbers are crazy. How do I know? Vid Summit is starting in a few days in Dallas. Vid Summit's always been in LA. It's always been in Anaheim. Same thing with VidCon. They're right there because Hollywood executives, LA money. Now, guess what? They're starting to put stuff in Dallas. Wall Street's going to have a baby. There's going to be a baby Wall Street in Dallas. There's going to be all these different things that are positioned in the middle of the country. Why does this matter? Because the momentum created and maintained and advanced by Texas is huge. The Calise brothers, I'm saying it wrong, of course, have a Philadelphia Eagles, and a Kansas City identity. We're just good old country boys who were big and strong, aka steroids in there, but big and strong, and we went and played football in the sea of minorities, and we were great. And we won rings, and we won things, and you can come celebrate us on our rise. That's what it is. And that's okay. I'm okay with that level of marketing because it's marketing and appealing to the Midwest that is creating, maintaining, and advancing momentum right now. I literally have a video. It's almost done for Wealth Wednesdays and on the paid side of this YouTube channel because you guys, many of you are members. There's like 700 of you are members. I thank you all. I'm going to have more content. And what I do is I break down from, I would say, Salado, Texas, down to San Marcos, Texas. I break down to you probably in about 3 videos how those areas and there's multiple areas. There's like 10 of them are going to make anywhere from, I would say, I'm gonna be honest with you, billions of dollars. I can't give away the whole video, but essentially you just had Samsung drop 17 billion in Taylor and how that's going to radiate, right? If you know anything about Dallas, Fort Worth, that's going to radiate. I have a couple people coming on in the studio. We're going back to fancy equipment, of course. Fancy equipment back in Austin, Texas. In the studio, we have a guy who's huge on ranches, farms, big money, Texas. That's going to probably be an hour, 30-minute interview. Then we have another lady who's like #1 at EXP. She's been like #1 for 30 plus years in real estate. She's going to be on, and there's going to be like 4 or 5 other people in real estate because I think y'all don't understand when I talk about active income, even though in real estate, active income right now is flipping and wholesaling. The person who can get their money together so that they can build new construction or they can be in position to flow with some of the new stuff that's coming through, insanely rich. This is why when I hear the argument kind of positioned to Black people and lower income people, oh, you don't need to buy a home. Don't even worry about it, right? And they're like, oh, Erica, I can't even buy a home right now. And I already know you haven't looked, you haven't researched, you haven't been pre-approved, you haven't even cared to check. Our friend in Chicago, Andre, who got a NACA home, no money down, a 4-unit in Chicago, now is able to sell that 4-unit in Chicago maybe 5 years later for like $1.7 million. And it will change his life for the rest of his life. If you don't understand the power of real estate, you're going to be left behind. And you're always going to be accusing people like Grant Cardone of scamming and people who are on the realdeal.com of scamming, right? Because you don't understand and you won't buy in. Even where Anthony Bryan Logan is in that region. I have a real estate connection now with someone with 3 people, and I'm just like, oh, that's good money. Let me go build that and do that and do that. But you don't know that if you don't research and educate yourself. It's easy to be deceived, right? So let me continue because I know we're running out of time here a little bit here. Yeah, Anthony Bryan, old school media is dead. It's hella dead. It's hella dead, right? Because really, you're getting back to what. And I put a video up in the community wall, and a lot of you may not like him because he's Jewish, but I told y'all I was down in Panama. And same way I told you about Zanzibar, I was down there in Panama before a lot of people, and I saw nothing but young Jewish people who their parents are in New York and won't listen to them. come down to Panama, come down to Belize, come down to the Caribbean areas and start heavily investing in that Panama region because it's open. It's just wide open for business. And so they're down there investing in the Shalom brother that I posted on the wall. He's telling you, your guys are worried about the economy, but in general, you need to be worried about your economy. I'm even seeing stuff now as I'm in a military town, which most people say, oh, military towns are good always. First and the 15th, they get paid. It's all good. Yes, even they are having some closings here because the people don't have the excess money to go out and eat and go out and bullshit and go out and cut up. They don't have it. But they'll always have the money to have a no money down house, right? And they'll just rent the different rooms out to other soldiers. They'll always have money to go try to get a car, and they're going to be approved because they know they have a first and a 15 check coming either way. And so there are some things that are guaranteed in certain military towns, but overall, your personal economy is the one that you can change and you can grow and you can affect. Okay, I hope I don't lose you out there, but let me keep moving. Vince McMahon and Tyler Perry. I'll do Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry has a movie coming out talking about the African American women of the what we call WAP Army. My grandmother was in the WAP Army. My grandfather was in the male army, I guess, in Negro Army, male Negro Army, whatever you want to call it, right? And they were stationed in Japan. And they end up meeting because the blacks were put on kind of one side of an area and the white were on the other side. But it's okay, right? At the end of the day, they end up meeting, they end up connecting, they end up marrying, they end up spending 7 years in Japan. That's why I keep telling y'all, like, my father was born in Japan, my uncle was born in Japan, my family had been in Japan for 7 years. Very interesting long history. But Tyler Perry has this movie. And I swear to you, Tyler Perry's like the MCU. He'll have a shitty movie, then he'll have a quality movie. Then he'll have a shitty movie and then a quality movie. And what he's doing is just creating and maintaining momentum. Sometimes the budget, he's just throwing stuff out there. And you're going to talk bad about him for a month. Then you're going to have the Jazz Man's Blues come out. And you're like, this is a great movie. I didn't even know Tyler Perry did it. It's amazing. This is a quality movie. Sad, yes, but a quality movie. Then he's going to give you some more crappy movies. Then he's going to come back with another one. I think this the Black Women's Army, Armed Forces, however you want to describe it, WAC Army, WAC Army. They just call it the WAC Army because it was women a something. Anyway, it's going to be one of those. So he continues and will continue probably for the next 10 years, to be truthfully honest, maintaining and creating and advancing momentum. You will keep talking about Tyler Perry for the next 10 to 20 years. Tyler Perry, in my mind, at this point, should start being investing in other directors coming underneath him, under the Tyler Perry studio, and creating a lot of quality Black film of like Black cop stories, Black funny stories, Black adventure stories, Black whatever stories. But you know what? Let him stay in his lane. That's what he wants to do over and over and over again, is the slapstick 1980s minstrel Black people stories. Let him do it. It's cool. It's cool. Do what you do, because he will keep doing that. Vince McMahon. Why is he going to be in jail for the rest of his life? Vince McMahon is the epitome of creating and maintaining, advancing momentum, creating these crazy stories, creating these wild, outlandish theories and kind of creepy stuff with his daughters and his son. Super creep. His wife took a lot of that money and went into politics. She wanted to be dominant over there. I get it. I do. I truly do. He was before that UFC kind of push. He was the raw, rugged, they're flying on planes, there's drugs, there's cocaine, there's 1980s. And anytime someone is super, uber powerful and the train ride is good, people are going to ride the train. Same thing with P. Diddy. Like, the comedy in all this is, even Nicki Minaj knew the Cassie thing was happening. She made a comment in one of her songs in like 2017, 2018. I can't wait to make enough money to free Cassie. What? So these people know when a powerful person is perverted, let's just go there, and controls people. They know it. It's not a secret. It's not an insider secret. It's not like, I never knew that. Nah, like, if you got in the industry just enough, you knew what was going on. You knew this dude was wild. But he kept the active income of constantly putting these people on the road, constantly putting these people in these ridiculous storylines, constantly bringing in new talent, new characters. There's so many Vice stories of like people who backs are destroyed and knees are destroyed from wrestling and lives are destroyed. There are Black women, I can't remember her name, but she was saying how, one or two managers tried to make her sleep with them so she could go out and wrestle. I mean, there's crazy stories forever associated with that whole WWE industry, right? And I want you to understand, unfortunately, in our society, if you can create, maintain, and advance momentum, people will ride the story. Again, Donald Trump is the prime example of creating, maintaining the momentum. I know y'all don't want to hear me talk about Trump, but his father kicked it off. His job was just to maintain it, but instead he advanced it. In a lot of ways, maybe we don't all agree on, right? We just don't. But it advanced all the way to the White House. The Kennedys, they were boot sellers, rum runners, prohibition money makers. And they have moved themselves into the blue collar, old money, Northeast, you marrying who's who, right? Why do you even know Andrew Cuomo's brother is over the mayor of New York? Because he married a Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? It's like blue collar, not blue collar, but blue. There's a word, I'm missing it. Old money. I'll just say that. In those circles that they're a part of. So they've been creating, maintaining these dynasties for a while. Okay. So what happens is, in order for you to be on that train, for you to create that for your family, y'all have to decide, right? Where do you want to be? If you want to be here on this internet, bickering about men and women problem and pissing in the wind and women's, you can be. But there's a whole world of good numbers and good money and good investments to grow that, okay? To maintain that. For sure. I'm going to see this. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's directly. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for joining and becoming a YouTube member. You'll see. Come on. Literally. The airborne Air Force aren't on Georgetown. The private wealthy airport is in Georgetown. That is where I take my pilot lessons. So yes, but there's a whole series I'm doing on that. Because yeah, I mean, there is and many of you don't know this, and many of you won't know this, and when you won't pay attention, there's a train that's going to go from Atlanta to Nashville and everything in between that. If you just drive the road from Atlanta going to Nashville, to Chattanooga, then to Nashville, you'll see what I'm talking about. They're putting that money through there. So there's several places. If I could make a whole separate channel just called "Where to Put Your Money in Real Estate the Next 10 Years," that would be my channel. You know what I mean? I would just tell you like, this part. Make money here. Again, America still has the opportunity for you to come here. You don't have any money. You're broke, busted, and disgusted. You work for 2 years. You have tax returns for 2 years. You get you some credit cards. You can start a business tomorrow. You could build on it, work on it, and put money into it. And you could literally be a multimillionaire. That's what this country is about. And that's why people are so angry, because so many people desire to do nothing. They always talk about how I have a cousin right now who's not even 40 years old. He's like, man, I wish I got 100% disability in the military, because then I could just sit around and I have 2 rentals and I could do this. And I'm like, you're not even 40, bro. You're not even 40. And your desire is to sit around and do nothing? That's insane to me. There's so much over the next 20 years that I would love to do. It's insane to me. No. Anthony Brian Logan, don't you do that. Don't you do it. Don't you do it here. Don't do it, Anthony. He creates what a segment of baby boomer Black women who have money want to watch. Let's be really honest. Let's be really clear. There is a segment of your aunties who are 50 to 70 years old, and they will watch everything Tyler Perry puts out, and they have money. They will go work at Wells Fargo till they're 80 years old. They will go work in those cubicle studio. That is who is voting for Kamala. That is who pays Tyler Perry's bills. That is who paid Oprah's bills for a while. Your under 50 to 30-year-old Black people are more immersed. And again, I wrote this in my notes, and it's funny that Anthony just said that, but to a degree, you're right. Black people focus on what Black people talk about. And why? How do I notice that? As a kid who's lived in suburbs, which 52% of Black people live in suburbs and rural areas, only 48% of us are in cities. My whole life, being at predominantly white college, being at white schools, being at a Christian private school, playing golf and tennis in high school and in middle school, I can assure you When you start mixing and mingle out here, the power Tyler Perry holds, you're like, who? You start talking to regular white people, who? Tyler Perry, my dear? Like, it doesn't compare. This is why you can have artists who are famous in the Black community and somebody white has no clue who they are. They have no clue. None whatsoever. So he makes money, but it's literally off of Black women 50 to 70 years old who will buy everything he has. That's who was it. Come on, they did. Listen, Vince McMahon went on the NFL team and he had NFL team money, but they made sure they kept keeping out of it because they were like, you're doing too much. You're being too freaky. You're doing too much P. Diddy stuff, right? And I want to be accountable on both sides. The women, not blaming victims. When you're going to work in these organizations, you have to have a moral standard to say, I'm out of here. When I hear some of these stories, I go, baby, you thought you were going to be slick and get a lick off of a famous person, and then it turned into some weirdness. But you have to take responsibility for that. Thank you. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know, old school. Listen, thank you. You know what I was trying to say. I was struggling there. He was. His father was the governor of New York, but he's created it. His brother, by marrying a Kennedy, helped maintain it. And then what's even funny is the whole family has a bunch of daughters. So now you have to see, can they get these 8 daughters? Because every single sibling then had a daughter. I don't know what's up. I don't know if they can't make boys. I don't know what's going on. They keep getting with men that ain't making no boys. Can they get these 8 girls married off to wealthy Jewish or other blue blood families in New York? That will be if they advance the dynasty. That's where people fall off. The Kennedys, they had a lot of drama, but guess what? They keep them kids married off and moving around. Okay? Say what you will about Nancy Pelosi. When they said Nancy Pelosi was the one who said, let me tell you something, Joe gonna get up out of here, I believe it 100%. Nancy got her nephew running California terribly. You don't think Nancy is that powerful? Please. Nancy Pelosi lost her spot. The guy who won, he didn't even make Nancy Pelosi move out of her office. He was still down the street in his office. And I don't mean down the street, I mean in, the Congress. You know what I'm trying to say. You got to recognize power when you see it. You dig what I'm saying? Big power, big money. For sure. It's going to be a fast train. There you go. And again, with the community, again, we have to be honest about the community, but this is not that video for the community. I mean, because we could go there. Anthony Bryan Logan, most of our community ain't even voting. That's old people voting. And again, he even said it. He don't make content for highbrow Negroes. He made it very true. He knows his audience. Woo, there you go. Come on, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Thank you so much, Quiet Storm. Sure did. They have daughters. That's all they can do. Ben Affleck is rolling around with Kennedy kids. Come on now. It's American royalty. And he's going to be president one of these days, unfortunately. Schwarzenegger got one of them Kennedys. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly. But let me kind of wrap it up in here. And here's where I'm going to go with this. Hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. Active income. Ryan Pieta said it. It makes sense. Oh, for sure. No. I'm not knocking you. I know what you mean. I was gonna slide past that, but I do know what you mean because Austin, the capital, and Georgetown. I know what you mean. But we'll do that on another day. I know exactly what you mean. I know the space you're talking about. Which is interesting. But anyway, so active income. What is the active income? Okay. If you're in real estate, it's going to be, and I'm doing it bare bones and I'm going to work it up for y'all. Bare bones is wholesaling and flipping. Can you have your phone ringing? I've had several clients call me and they spend maybe $1,000 to $2,000 a month getting leads. And they literally consistently always have a deal. Take that where you will with that. Okay. Stocks, daily, weekly, monthly. Again, check with Diamond Dave, check with anybody that talks about investing and financials. Check with them. Okay. That is active income, right? The guy or girl talking about dividends online, those are nice. Those are leftovers. Those are good tax write-offs. But the active pursuing income, I hate saying day trading because it just sounds a certain way. Service. What is service? To kind of get your head in the game. Repair, any type of repair. There's a million ways we can go repair. From shower to remodel to mold remediation to whatever. Repair, put repair in your head. Solar. Why are people going to go with solar? Biden put that $1 billion green deal in, and trust me, the incentives for solar, like it was under Obama, is going on right now. Have you and I'll give you a little bit of insight. Have you no, let me stop. I'm gonna stop before I get flagged here on this video. Go look it up. They want you to green your house, basically, right? Get these electric monitors, get these electric stoves. Don't have a gas stove, don't have a real fireplace, don't do that, because you'd be more independent, you'd be more out of the loop. But that's another conversation. Solar is going to continue to bowl up, and guys are still going to basically create solar companies every night and make $1 million in a year, sometimes in 6 months, because people will always try to save money on their electricity bills because they think, oh my God, I have my house, but I need to save money. Where can I save money? It's going to be energy. Energy costs are going to be crazy. Okay. Absolutely insane. Roofing is going to continue to be insane because of rain, because the fact is, let's go there for a second, and y'all are not going to like me. We have allowed a lot of illegal immigrants into this country, and people who maybe not the best qualified, and they have built roofs and they have built houses that have issues because people are speeding through the projects. They're drinking Modelo's while they're at the work site. And not that they aren't good, hardworking people, but mistakes have been made. So you will be seeing roofing will continue to make a ton of money. If you're in Dallas, Texas, there's over 9,000 like roofing companies. And on average, those roofing companies make 3 to 4 million a year. On average. Like, that's just data. Just data, right? Just data, period. Okay. On top of that, recruiting. What is recruiting? Recruiting is me going to scout the best people that want to work at a Patrick Dead office, that want to go work in this. You have to have crew that wants to go and find the best talent. And really, right now, it's a swiping game where I'm going to take your best people from your office. I'm going to take her best people from her office. I'm going to take these people, because if you're working, I know you have talent. If you're unemployed right now, that means you don't have social connections. You weren't able to slide over to another company. You weren't able to laterally move anywhere. You're unemployed. Why are you unemployed? I already told y'all the past couple weeks, I went to go help because we're still somewhat tied into trucking and logistics. Y'all already know that about me. And I was on the phone with people who had failed drug tests. Sir, we're in a recession. You're failing drug tests. Your whole career is transportation. And you know what the guy had to say to me? And this is one time Anthony Brian Logan and Xantos Clutch. Here you go. I'm giving you your bone. I'm feeding you the red meat. If you're still here, a black man told me, why am I blocking him from the industry? Because I'm a black person and I should let him come work. Even though he's failed a drug test, even though he was in a car accident, a vehicle accident at his last company. I said, dude, I'm not blocking you from the industry. You're blocking yourself. This is a 39-year-old man saying someone's blocking him from a job and not taking personal responsibility. If you want to smoke weed, if you want to cut up and drive, basically a semi truck or any box truck is basically a weapon. It's a weapon. You just cannot blame other people for you failing to show up to work prepared. You can't. And what's going to happen to that man? He's not young. I thought maybe he's a young guy. He doesn't know any better. I went back and looked at his information. You're 39 years old. What's going to happen is you're going to end up like some of these other truckers working for some of these shady companies. They're going to work you like a dog, and you're going to complain about unsafe work conditions, and they're going to go, oh, we'll go find another job. Again, Elon Musk can smoke weed because he owns the company. If you are a lowly driver, if you are a worker, if you are not the guy in charge, if you do not own your own truck, if you do not own your own stuff, you cannot smoke weed. That's all. You can't smoke weed. I know so many people so bad are like, Erica, it's just weed. You cannot go operate heavy machinery. And this is what most people are complaining about in the construction industry. Everybody they run into is smoking weed, on pills, on drugs, and want to be paid the best money. It's not happening. You're not getting paid top money to smoke weed and be on drugs and come to my job site dangerous. You're not. This is the one time I will let Xanatos Clutch and Anthony Brian Logan have the community argument. The community thinks you should let them work for you while on drugs, while endangering others. No, community, you cannot. I apologize. Okay, he owns the company. Literally, Elon Musk can do. Elon Musk on pills too. Let's keep it. Look, Elon Musk is on some pills, and he can do that. Okay, because he owns the company. He can do that. Okay. Now, that's service active income, right? How are you getting active income so that you can put money into investments? Because really what you're saying is if I don't ever take that money and put it somewhere, I will have to work till I die. Okay? That's really what it is. And when you look at most people that own these construction companies, they're just facilitating technicians to get to the job and salesmen to get where they need to go so they can make money. That's it. Y'all really be overcomplicating this stuff, and there's no need to. All right? For sure. Listen, because he owns it. That's just as simple as that. Oh, I believe it. I work with so many men willing to stay at low wage company because they didn't drug test. I 100% believe you. You are not. I would never say I don't believe you because I'm watching it happen right now. I'm watching people basically decide I will not be productive in society because they're going to ask me to show up to work on time and they're going to ask me to take a drug test. Oh my God. So listen, what did we learn from all this? What did we learn from the Bigger Pockets thing? What did we learn from Vince McMahon, Tyler Perry, the Khalees brothers? What did we learn from this? You have to have active income. What you do with that active income is where you pivot. Okay? In the next 20 years, if you're investing in Florida, Texas, Tennessee, or North Carolina, if you invest right, your family can be a big dynasty. Just can be. Depends on how you do it. And the reason people get upset when you bring this stuff up is because that means they have to assess what they're doing with their time and their money. That's what that means. They have to assess what they're doing with their time and their money. And, there's something I see often where they're like, well, you're privileged, right? When these women are saying they're going to stay home with their kids. No, it's not privilege, it's sacrifice. It's literally me making a sacrifice on income and sticking with this one guy that's going to help me pay these bills. And that's our sacrifice. I stay home with these kids because I see society is constantly every day feeding them junk, feeding them crap, telling them lies, making them confused. So I will sacrifice for these kids. But if you're with a joker who wants to smoke weed and stay at a factory pushing carts for $20 an hour, you're not going to be able to stay home with those kids. That just is what it is. So figure out what your active income is. Get that active income up. Figure out how you can leverage it into things that put long-term money in your pocket. Because there will always be people who rather stay at those low-wage jobs, never buy a home, and just kind of show up. A lot of these immigrants, whether you like it or not, they're going to come here, they're going to work for 2 years, get their taxes together, tax returns are together, and they're going to buy homes and start businesses. And you're going to be still in that same rut. So hope this was helpful. Hope this was informative. I will definitely make clips of some of this because it's so long. But I hope you guys enjoy the commentary. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is your girl, Erica, Classy Climb Blog. If you've been in Middleman to Millions, we have some trainings coming up. If you've been in digital real estate, we have some trainings coming up because some of the things I've been creating and putting out there, they're working. So, all right, you guys, this is your girl, Erica, Classy Climb Blog. You guys have an amazing day. I'm going to go clean this mess in this car and get to the sauna.